And well, for more on this, Professor Kinvara Janghid, Adjunct Faculty, Ben-Gurion University, Israel, and Director, Center for Israel, is now joining us live on NDTV. Welcome to NDTV, sir. First up, 2 years since the Israel-Hamas war. We do know that the indirect talks are underway in Egypt. How optimistic are you of a breakthrough? All right, there seems to be some. So you have to unmute yourself. We perhaps can't listen.
I'm so sorry. Thank you. There are more reasons to be pessimistic about this deal because such efforts have happened in the past. They agreed, and then after the first phase, everything faltered. But this time I'm optimistic because Donald Trump really wants the deal. Netanyahu has complete reluctance to do what he is forced to do, and Hamas has all the more reasons to hold on to hostages and drag this war as the whole public space is turning pro-Hamas in many of the campuses across the world. But Donald Trump is really now disillusioned. He's disillusioned because his own threats did not work. Let's recall, 20th of January, he took the oath. And before he took the oath, he gave an ultimatum that Hamas shall release all these hostages before he takes oath, otherwise a hell will be on them. To their credit, Hamas, a non-state actor, a small militant organization, armed group, survived those threats, survived those ultimatums, and ultimately Donald Trump had to realize he will have to make a compromise. So this time he gave Hamas two options. Those of you who will renounce violence will stay in Gaza, and those of you who will like to leave Gaza will be given a passage to leave Gaza. That's unheard of. Second compromise that Trump offered is that in writing in 20 points, he mentioned Gaza will not be occupied, neither will be annexed. So I think it's a bit moderation on the part of Trump. And the second disillusionment for Trump is Mr. Netanyahu. Israel has formidable intelligence force, has military power, but in the last 1 year, when Israel got a full backing and a blank check from Donald Trump, it couldn't defeat Hamas.
Right.
Now, one can really go into the quality of the fight and how it's a civilian area where Hamas hides, and it puts a tremendous difficulty for a state to act freely in a true sense. Whatever those circumstances are, the point is Israel failed militarily in Gaza because, as you said, the number one priority and the goal of the war was to free the hostages.
Right.
They couldn't reach to them.
Right, Professor. You mentioned how Israel has completely failed in Gaza because it has not been able to achieve any of its war goals. Number one, retrieving the hostages and dismantling Hamas. You spoke about the disillusionments of the US president. At this point of time, do you think that Trump will be able to perhaps convince Bibi, the Israeli prime minister, to perhaps stop the war? Because 2 years on, Israel has clearly failed to achieve its war goals.
Well, he has already put his thumb where Netanyahu doesn't like to be. Remember when Netanyahu went to UNGA, he was told to stay for extra day to meet Trump. And this is when he came in agreement with Trump plan. But Trump also told him to pick the phone and apologize to the Qatari prime minister.
Right.
The second thing that Trump told Netanyahu is that West Bank will not be annexed. This is said to, in a way, calm the Arab anger against his full support to Israeli aggression or unilateralism. So I think Donald Trump has already put his leverage on Netanyahu. The problem is, Trump doesn't have a leverage on Hamas. Think of it for a second. The mightiest leader of the world is giving ultimatum and the threats to Hamas for the last 9 months.
Right.
And Hamas doesn't budge. The only leverage this time Trump realized he has are his Arab allies. So he, in a way, massaged the ego of the Qataris by making Netanyahu publicly apologize to them And now he employed even a state like Pakistan to publicly say, we endorse Trump's plan and we want Hamas to take it. So I think he's playing with the undemocratic but Islamic leaders across the world that have been the supporters of Hamas, and to put Hamas under pressure through them, because Trump can't really pressure Hamas on his own.
Right, Professor Jahangir. Thank you so much for joining us here on NDTV with your insights. But before we let you go, your last inputs on where do you see the war headed to with the talks underway? Do you think that there will perhaps be a breakthrough? Because you mentioned about Hamas and how Trump does not have a leverage on Hamas. But after so many back and forth between Israel and Hamas, Hamas right now has at least agreed to the initial stage of the 20-point peace plan proposed by the US president.
Wars in Middle East can go on for years. I remember in October 2023, I was in Israel, and one of the anchors in NDTV asked in December 2023 how long the war will go. I thought it will go for a year. It has been 2 years, and I really think it will go on for another years, not a year, because even if the hostages are free, what would be the breaking point after the hostages are free? Hamas will refuse to disarm itself. Israel will refuse to withdraw the army. Netanyahu's right-wing allies will pressure to take the land of Gaza back.
Okay.
American presidents will be forever in a problem with their endorsement of the Israeli claims and the control of the territories. Europeans have already made themselves very clear, we support the two-state solution. America will have to support Israel on its own. I think the diplomatically speaking, Israel has lost a great amount of things. And one of them is to really get itself into a situation of a war that it cannot win,
and also
a war that it cannot
perhaps
really leave behind.
Right, Professor. And also just to add to the point you made, that Israel has not only lost its war goals, but it has also been isolated on the global stage as it continues to fight Hamas in Gaza. But thank you so much for joining us here on NDTV with your insights.